Welcome back to Kaulignation, your one-stop shop for all things Kaulig Racing, Dingernation, SVGNation, and all things NASCAR. I'm Sean. Thank you for joining us on this Tuesday evening to dive into a bunch of hot-button topics surrounding NASCAR right now. Before we get too far into it, I just want to announce to everybody we finally have an Instagram account up. It's pretty simple to follow. Just go check out Kaulignation, spelt exactly how the YouTube channel is spelt. Follow us over there. It would be appreciated. We do have our first post over there. We're going to try to be formatting everything, so stay tuned for that. Also, check out our Patreon, which has a brand new episode of the Kaulig and Trackhouse Nation podcast out now for our two top tiers over there. It is 90 minutes long. We dive into all things Kaulig, Spire, Dodge Ram, Dodge, the rumors around it, Trackhouse, SVG, and more. Available now over at patreon.com/Kaulig Nation. Our multiple choice question for this video is Watkins Glen is this upcoming weekend. SVG was a few turns away from winning last year for Kaulig, although it was a Trackhouse car, or Trackhouse built car rather. Can SVG pull off 4 road courses in a row this upcoming weekend? So let's talk about how you think he will finish. Do you think he will win, top 5, or top 10? Comment down below and share your thoughts there. Maybe give some insight on what you're expecting from the weekend. He's also running in the Xfinity Series as well, which I'm sure will be another showdown between him and Connor Zilisch. So check that out. Saturday and Sunday, SVG with a doubleheader. Do you think he will win? Do you think he'll win the doubleheader too? Let us know. It's hard to do that as we've seen at Sonoma, but if someone can do it, it's probably him. All right, let's dive into this. So we got more from Jordan Bianchi, and the last time we covered one of his reports, it should be noted that SVG was being listed as possibly being on the hot seat at Trackhouse, that sponsorship could be an issue. The oval results weren't really there. And then SVG proceeded to go win 3 road courses in a row, shutting Jordan Bianchi up pretty quickly. I'll be the first to admit that Jordan Bianchi has been less accurate this year than in years past. I'm not personally a fan of his, but over the years he has been a credible reporter, even if he doesn't go about things the right way. But Jordan Bianchi touched on the fact that Justin Haley is on the hot seat at Spire and could find himself out of a ride as early as the beginning of next season. And I do wonder if Kaulig would be interested in that, but I think that would depend on how much sponsorship you can find AJ Allmendinger, because Haley doesn't really have his own sponsors, and I don't know if that's a path they'd go down or not. But speaking of Justin Haley, as we predicted across our social media accounts and our last video, Justin Haley will drive the 11 Kaulig Racing Xfinity Chevrolet at Daytona. What's that mean? Why is it a big deal? Well, he ends up being the third the third Spire driver in a row to drive the open Kaulig Racing 11 seat. This is on the heels of Spire potentially buying not all, but some of Kaulig Racing's Xfinity equipment, and the rumors of Kaulig Racing potentially buying Spire's truck equipment in order to going truck racing with Ram next season and eventually Cup Series racing with Dodge. Should be noted that that is a rumor for now, although it's a hot rumor. Nothing has been officially confirmed to this point, although Dodge and Kaulig have not denied it either. So we'll have to see what comes of that. Speaking of Dodge and Ram, Jordan Bianchi also had in his latest write-up the fact that it seems as if Dodge is nearing a significant announcement soon, and they mentioned that it's likely to be with a Cup Series team as well as other participants, and that they want to have a current Cup Series team be one of their figurehead teams, tier 1 teams, if you will, in order to help them get familiar with where NASCAR currently is at the moment. So I'll have to wait and see what happens to that. But the fact that Jordan Bianchi says A significant announcement is expected soon out of the Dodge camp. We've had all the rumors about Kaulig and Spire, and we've had the previous rumors about Trackhouse, but I don't believe anything's imminent there. We'll have to see what ends up happening, but right now, I would say it's honestly 50-50 whether Kaulig goes to Ram and Dodge or whether they play it safe and stay with Chevrolet. Only time will tell, but the fact that Jordan Bianchi is now reporting on it, um, would at least lend some credibility to the fact that there is a lot of smoke out there. And we'll have to see what happens. We've said all along that, well, there's tons of sources that are saying it seems like this is going on. The truth is, we just don't know, right? Like, Chris Rice had a chance to squash that rumor. He chose not to. In fact, I would say the way he answered it fueled the rumors even more. And we'll see where it all ends up. Personally, yeah, I do want them to make the move to Ram and Dodge. I think the long-term future of the organization would be much better off that way. But like Ryan and I have talked about in the past, it's kind of like a relationship. If you're nearing the end of the relationship, but you're afraid to end it, but you know that it probably should, then where do you end up? Can you end it? Are you afraid of change? Change is hard. And in this case, it's a multi-million-dollar business where change can, impact the future of said business. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that front as well. Last but not least, we do have Watkins Glen coming up this weekend. We will have a preview video out for it later this week. We'll be listening to what Chris Rice says on tomorrow's interview he has with SiriusXM. But I do want to talk about another interview that happened with SiriusXM. Justin Marks of Trackhouse. Justin Marks went on there and talked about the hiring of Todd Meredith, a 2-decade high-up employee for Joe Gibbs Racing. He is the director of competition. That might be the title. I think it's the title. Now at Trackhouse, Justin Marks basically said he's really excited about the future of the team and where it's going, referring to SVG, Connor Zilish, and Ross Chastain. But he also admitted that maybe the team kind of got off pace a bit and there needed to be more focus on bringing faster race cars to the track and bringing in a name like Todd Meredith, who had spent significant amounts of time over at Joe Gibbs Racing, world-class organization who's competitive and competing for championships year in, year out, is about as good as it gets. So Trackhouse is going under some massive internal changes right now. And, well, you might not see the effects of these changes right away. They view it as a step in the right direction, considering just how detailed Justin Marks was in the interview in terms of how you piece the cars together, how, it might be spec parts, but there are things that you need to do on your end to make sure you're getting the most out of those spec parts. Really provided some insight as to how the upper tier teams are getting an advantage on the lower and mid tier teams if you're not being super careful about the way that you handle this new car. Anyways, don't forget to check us out on Patreon for bonus content. We would appreciate the support. Patreon.com/Kaulignation. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. It would be appreciated. Don't forget to check out our Kaulignation Instagram account that just launched. Big shout out to our channel sponsors, Lynn over at SVGNation on Facebook, Alex over at Dingernation on Facebook, and we will see each and every one of you in the next video.